Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the channel. Rather than just doing a straight up review of a book like I normally do, I'm not going to be reviewing the actual content you see here, but rather reviewing the actual covers and editions that I just got. If you can't tell, this is a cool edition, in my opinion anyways, of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It can be found on Juniper. I'm not sponsored, but Juniper, if you haven't checked it out, I'd recommend it. It's kind of like just a really cool website. They offer custom editions of a lot of big series. I know they have Harry Potter, they obviously have Lord of the Rings, and other Middle-earth stuff. I think they have either like 3 or 4 different editions from this one you see here, and they all are pretty cool. So if you haven't checked that out, I would recommend it. Lord of the Rings, it's a series that I've been meaning to read for a while, which I know is crazy, having read so much fantasy, and not having read Lord of the Rings is almost like sacrilegious, it feels like. And it's just one of those things where I'm not someone I don't love rewatching movies, and I don't really enjoy rereads all that much, although I'm trying to get more into that. So because I know the story so well and I've watched the movies so often, and I know the books are better probably, that's no excuse. But just me personally, I'm not someone who likes to revisit stories. I know the ending to, so it was just a personal thing where I've always meant to get around to it, but when there's so many other books out there, it's like, but I could just read this next series, and I kind of kicked the can down the road for way too long. So I made up my mind a few months ago, and I said, you know, when I see a really cool edition of Lord of the Rings in my local Barnes & Noble, I'll go ahead and pick it up, and that'll be my excuse to finally read one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest. So I've been looking around at Barnes & Noble and other bookstores, and nothing's really caught my eye. And then I remembered about, I've known about Juniper for a while, but I realized, I was like, oh, I bet I could find a really cool edition of Lord of the Rings on there, which is what I did. And like I said, they have a few different options on their website, but this is the one I went with. I think it's a really cool, simple, it's obviously got the Eye of Sauron right there. I love the simplicity. They're not overdoing it. They're not throwing a lot at you. It just feels nice, clean, and crisp. So yeah, it's the edition I went with. And with this specific one, you could choose to get, they call this color neutral, or you could get black. And I was just a bigger fan. So this isn't like, I don't know if it shows up well on the camera, but this isn't like a crisp white. It's like an off-white, and it's got a little bit of texturing, a little bit of markings that make it seem a little bit worn. And it's just really cool to me. So, and it obviously, the 3 books come together to make a nice image there. And then they're all kind of variations of the same. So this is the Fellowship of the Ring. The eye's nice and big on the front there. And then it just kind of moves along. That's Return of the King. And this is the 2 Towers, as that focus is there. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It finally gives me a good reason to read it, and they'll look really nice on the shelves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into Lord of the Rings finally. And as you can see, if I put them back in order here, Juniper tends to do a really good job. The centering is really nice. My one gripe, and it may be because I've been handling them so much, but the lettering on the D is just a little bit off. It gets kind of lost in there. So to me that could be a little bit better, but no big deal, in my opinion. And everything about them is just quality, as you'd expect from a more custom retailer like this is. You know, they really make their customers know, you know, the little small things. So this, on Return of the King, if you can see there, has like a part 3, and it has part 1 and part 2 on the other books, obviously. And then it's, when you take the cover off, if I can be real gentle with it here, it's just got a nice cover on itself that's inlaid. It's beautiful like copper color here, nice and simple. It kind of, if you know what the original editions of Lord of the Rings looked like, if I can remember, it's something very similar to this, really simplistic. And I did take a look too. It is the same front image on all 3 covers underneath, and then obviously it's got some really nice gold lettering here on the side with J.R.R. Tolkien, Return of the King, and then just obviously the actual publishing company. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. I even love like the nice brown cover compared to just if they went with black or something like that. So I couldn't be happier, and like I said, I'm really excited to actually get in and see what all the buzz is about, especially now that I'm a little more well-read. I'm sure I'll be able to see the influences all over the place once I finally read it. And you do get some of that exposure with the movies, obviously. But yeah, I could not be happier. And then I even think in here too, it looks like there's a map. Yep, there is a map in here. I won't unfold it just for the sake that I'm worried about, you know, ruining it. But you do have what appears to be a really nice big map that I'm sure they did a great job on. So let me bring it back for one more view for you guys. There you can see it. And like I said, they do offer this edition, as my camera focuses there. They do offer it in just a flat black, which does look really nice. But I just like the more textured, to me, the neutral, as they call it. The off-white just gives it a little bit more personality than a flat black. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe.